Recording. Okay. Hi everyone. I hope all is well with you and yours. I am Ashanti and welcome to Uniquely Ashanti's Corner. So I previously posted a video that briefly discussed the common arguments that many people use to justify why it's okay to curse. If you have not seen that video, then I will provide a link so you guys can go check it out. And since I made that video, I thought it would be best for me to create one that shares advice on how to stop cursing. This video is only for those who are really truly interested in trying to change their choice of words. If you're not interested in cutting profane language from your vocabulary, then this video is definitely not for you. And keep in mind that I will be mentioning God in this video since I'm handling this from a Christian perspective. So if you don't want to hear about God, then this video is not for you. Anyway, I will be sharing 8 tips. So let's get started. Number 1, stop surrounding yourself with elements that have cursing in it. A lot of secular music, TV shows, movies, and YouTube videos, and even books have profane language in it. It's definitely a challenge to get away from it because it's the most common type of language many people use today to express their feelings about something. You're going to have to cut out these reality shows like Basketball Wives, and as for mainstream artists like Jay-Z, Eminem, Nicki Minaj, and many others, you're going to have to stop listening to them. And if you normally watch stand-up comedians that curse during their acts, you gotta stop watching them. If you constantly give your attention to these elements, it's going to stick in your head and you're going to continue to curse. Number 2, get people you trust to monitor if you curse. This is something that's really good for you because many people have been cursing for so long in their lives that they don't even realize when they do it. Get your parents involved, your siblings, your best friend, a trusted neighbor, or a cousin. Tell them you want to stop cursing and that you want them to let you know when they hear you doing it. You want to get as many people as you can to hold you accountable on this so you won't do it anymore. Number 3, if people around you curse, politely sorry, ask them to stop doing it. A lot of times people pick up the habit of cursing from family and friends. If you want to get a handle of avoiding this type of language, you have to speak up and let it be known that you don't want to hear that type of language. You're going to come across people who don't appreciate you asking them to not curse around you, and some people will think you're weird for doing so, but you shouldn't let their reaction stop you. If they call themselves getting upset because they have an issue with respecting your wishes, you're just going to have to separate yourself from that person until they can respect your wishes. I understand this might be hard for you because you don't want to lose a close relationship. However, one thing you have to realize is that when you're trying to be a better person, especially if you're trying to grow closer to God, you're going to have to cut certain people out of your life. That's what a lot of people had to do in the Bible, leave their families in order to pursue Jesus. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that you're going to come across some people that will refuse to stop cursing and don't care if you don't want to hear it. Which brings me to my next tip, which is number 4, pray. One of the things that I dislike about going to college is dealing with professors who have potty mouths. Mm-mm-mm. Many of these professors have told students how relieved they are that they're college professors because they have freedom to curse whenever they please. Since high school teachers obviously can't do that. I remember I had one professor that expressed that he didn't care if students didn't like him cursing. He said, and I quote, "If you don't like cursing, then you don't need to be in the real world if your ears are really that sensitive." Whenever I heard him starting to curse, I would just quietly pray and ask God to help me to release the frustration I felt and not to allow that foul speech to have an effect on how I talk to others. And believe it or not, I prayed for the person who's cursing. Even though I thought it was disrespectful for him to make that sensitive ears comment, I still ask God to help him to realize that what he was doing was wrong. Another thing to keep in mind when it comes to prayer is that you have to stay in prayer and read the Bible if you're serious about cutting profane language out. Ask God to tame your tongue and help to stop yourself when you feel like you want to curse, and ask him to help you with handling your emotions better. You have to do this every single day. Don't underestimate the power of prayer. Number 5, be patient. When it comes to breaking habits, it may take some time to do so, but you can't just give up because it feels like it's just way too hard. You have to be consistent with what you're doing and think positive. You can break this habit. Tip number 6, try to find alternative words to say other than curse words. Some people will yell words like sugar or oh snap when they're upset about something. I actually have two parents who often use the words doggone, what the heck, and oh shoot. And since I grew up around that, that has definitely become a part of my vocabulary. I have heard that some people will actually think of some silly words to say to help them relieve themselves of anger a little faster. Maybe you can look into doing something like that. You can ask people around you what are some alternatives that you can work into your speech. Number 7, try to find the triggers that make you curse. Do you have a patience problem? Are there certain topics that really get you steamed up? Do you have road rage? If you have a problem trying to find certain triggers, your friends and family can definitely help you with that. Once you figure it out, y'all will be able to work together and find a solution on how you can calm your nerves when you're faced with those certain things that make you resort to cursing, whether it's taking deep breaths or listening to some calming music, um, talking to someone when you have those negative emotions, doing your favorite hobby, and so on. Number 8, if you slip up, don't forget to ask God for forgiveness. As you're trying to cut cursing from your vocabulary, there may be times that you let certain words slip out of your mouth. People make mistakes. Just keep asking God to give you strength and guidance about this. This is going to take some hard work. However, I want to make something clear to y'all before there's any confusion. Asking God for forgiveness doesn't mean that you're free to keep letting curse words slip out of your mouth. You can't continue to do something that God doesn't like and think that you're in the safe zone as long as you continue to ask him to forgive you. That's not how it works. When you realize that you did something wrong, you ask God to forgive you, and then you have to make sure it doesn't happen again. While God knows that we're not perfect, he doesn't want us to keep repeating bad acts over and over again. So those are all of my tips. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope that this helped you. And if you happen to know somebody out there that is trying to stop cursing, then definitely share this video with them. I'm sure they would greatly appreciate you for it. If you have other tips that I didn't mention in this video, then feel free to leave them down in the comments below. I'm sure that others will find that very, very helpful. I probably don't have to say this, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it anyway. Please refrain from profane language in the comments, and please be respectful when you're leaving a comment. And also, a final note, if you happen to have any requests of certain topics that you would like for me to discuss, I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm fumbling over my words. If you have any requests, leave them down below. God bless, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.